All right, so we want to get some accessories added to the wardrobe. So, let's say you have a wardrobe just like this that comes with a bunch of weapons. These are all static meshes, which is great, but, we need them to be skeletal meshes in order to work with Overcrowd and, in order for them to get the animation data baked into them. So, what we're going to do is convert these. We're going to sort of line them up on the character where they need to be, reset their origin, and convert them to skeletal meshes so that we can do, our baking the LODs and then, doing the VAT mesh pairing and all of that and getting it added to the wardrobe. Okay. So what you'll want to do is add a metahuman to your scene. And in this case, we want him to be at exactly 0, 0, 0. So, make sure that the location is zeroed out, and that will make a lot of sense once we start to reset the origins of all of these things and convert them to skeletal meshes. But we want to get an animation on this guy so that we can, start to see exactly how these should be lined up. All right, so let's go and add a level sequence. We'll call this accessories 3 because I've already made a few here. Go ahead and save that. And we'll get this guy added to the level sequence like that. Can delete these control rigs. Great. All right, so I'm going to come down to the body track and I'm going to add a weapon and shield animation to him. So why don't we just grab this idle animation. All right, there we go. And now we want to come back to our content browser and we're going to line up all the weapons first here. So let's just go ahead and we can actually do all of these at the same time. So just go ahead and select these. And why don't we actually duplicate them first, since we are going to be changing their origins. So it's nice to just duplicate these so you still have the originals. Great. And now we can just go ahead and drag all of those out into the scene at the same time. And with those selected, we're going to come back to our sequencer and we can add these to the sequencer. Add current selection. Great. And over here, make sure you go to the details panel, and in the location, we can zero that out. So we'll zero out the location. And now with all of these selected, we're going to add an attach track, and we're going to attach this to our man's right hand. So let's go ahead and attach that there. Perfect. Okay, so now you can see how the weapons are starting to look well. They are attached to his hand bone. So we're just going to move those into position there. And I'm going to rotate that around like that. And okay. Something like that looks pretty good. All right, so I think that's looking pretty good. I'm going to actually just shorten a little bit of this animation here and then pull this off so you can see they're all still attached to his hand. And now you can see, that's like the position when, it's in a complete A pose. So this is where we will reset our origin from. Great. So why don't we come down here? Let's reselect all of those weapons that I just deselected. And then we're going to come up here and change our selection mode. We're going to change this from animation mode to modeling. And I'm just going to drag this out here so we can read this. With all of these weapons selected, we're going to come over here to Xform, and we want Edit Pivot. So let's click that, and that will bring up this little window here. And we are going to just zero out the pivot point completely, and make sure your rotation is also zeroed out as well. That's looking pretty good. Let's hit accept. great. So all of these have had their origin reset, and in fact, if you come over here to the content browser, you can see, this is what their thumbnails look like now. And with all of these still selected, we can right-click, and now we want to convert them to skeletal meshes. So come up here to convert to skeletal mesh. Great. And under creation type, we want to change this to use existing skeleton because we are going to use this guy's skeleton. So don't worry about it moving around like that. Let's see, I'll type body, and I guess we'll use that. All right. And the binding bone name will be the right hand. So type hand R. And okay, just go ahead and hit convert. And there we go. Don't worry about the errors that I got. That's just because I have this connected to Perforce. Anyway, all right, now you can see we have all of these converted to skeletal meshes, and now they're up over here because we changed their origins, and now that updated. All right, anyway, we can now do the scripted asset actions that we've done to convert these into VATs. So with all these selected again, let's go ahead and right click, go to asset actions, and scripted asset actions, overcrowd, and generate LODs. And just go ahead and hit OK. Awesome. And let's go ahead and right click and scripted asset actions, overcrowd, create VAT mesh pairing. And let's come down to body part and overcrowd. And we can do, in this case, let's actually label it weapon R. Because we're going to have, accessories in both left and right hands. All right, that looks good. Add new tag. And we just go ahead and select that and hit OK. And don't worry about that. I'm getting a lot of errors here and just force deleting. I'm pretty sure there's an error with Perforce, but it seems to work just fine. So now why don't we go ahead and actually test that out. I'm going to go ahead and open up our wardrobe editor, and let's pull this guy up, and we can go ahead and add a weapon R to this wardrobe. And this is a bug, where the thumbnails are not showing up for some reason. This might be because I moved this project from another computer. Anyway, go ahead and select those. All right, great. And just go ahead and make sure to rebake. And once that is done baking, we can actually go ahead and just test that out. And I'm going to go ahead and spawn a population box, and we'll just pop that in right there. All right, and that is looking really good for the swords or for the weapons. And now you could just do this exact same process for the shields. You would just line them up on the left arm and attach them to the the left forearm. And likewise for hair, you can attach that to the head bone as well.